Ubisoft stock isn't just doing the iconic Assassin's Creed leap of faith, horizontally directly into the ground, but it's also missing the haystack. Yeah, that's right. And you know what isn't missing the haystack? You know what isn't doing a gigantic dive bomb to the floor? That would be the likes on these videos. You are doing great. Let's keep the likes going up, folks. And make sure to follow me on Twitter, folks. It's at Sir Mannix. Because you know what, guys? I think now is a perfect time to take a moment and hand over an olive branch from the people like me who hate Assassin's Creed Shadows and the corpo bums who are defending it, because we should both look at what we have in common. What we have in common is that we are not buying the game. That's right, and you know what? We can both watch the rise and fall of Ubisoft in about 2 months when that documentary drops. Now, when people ask me, how good is Assassin's Creed Shadows? I tell you, it's so good, in fact, that it assassinated itself and Ubisoft. Those jokes will never get old. When Ubisoft told everybody that they wanted to make games for the minority, they weren't lying about that specific thing, because minority of players is exactly what they got. So an easy way to spot a flop is when they state players instead of sales. Case in point, Ubisoft just screamed from the rooftops that AC Shadows has hit 2 million players. Now, to the average normie, they look at that and think, wow, that's incredible, while parroting the Access Media's incredibly misleading information. Not realizing at all, because they're a bunch of dummies, that the Access Media are unethical mercenaries for the highest bidder. I'm just here thinking, Ubisoft seriously doesn't think gamers are that dumb, because it's a shame that 2 million players don't translate to 2 million sales. I want to make this perfectly clear. Ubisoft is so embarrassingly pathetic that they are counting anybody who boots the game up, anybody who gets the game for free by buying an Intel processor, or the Steam players, as you can tell by the reviews, who returned it within a 2-hour window. Anybody who bought the game through Ubisoft Connect for like $17, you get access to the full game. They're counting that too. The same people, like I said, who probably cancelled it within a few hours after realizing how terrible it is. That is who they count as players, these wet dingleberries. That is just a blatant lie and a misdirection to make it look like 2 million people bought the game for full price, and even the pathetic Access Media comparing it to Kingdom Come Deliverance, which actually did have 2 million sales within a few weeks. But the thing is, Kingdom Come had something that Assassin's Creed Shadows didn't. Apart from the writing, the story, the characters, the atmosphere, and quite literally everything, now that I think about it, that game is better than Assassin's Creed Shadows in every single way. That game had hundreds of thousands of people playing it live, full price on Steam the first week, completely dwarfing the absolute minuscule, pathetic 60,000 that Assassin's Creed Shadows had. I think I need to repeat that. Assassin's Creed Shadows had just over 60,000 people playing, literally the day and the weekend it came out. To put that into perspective, Dragon Age Veilguard had 30,000 more people playing on Steam. That was such a failure for them that they fired and laid off a bunch of people. So if I'm supposed to believe that, you're telling me that 2 million people bought the game, that leaves 1.94 million players across consoles and Ubisoft Connect. That is total bullshit. Which is why they're conveniently using the word players instead of sales. It's the same reason those low-rent Game Pass games like Avowed scream from the rooftops, we have 2 million players, neglecting to mention they are all on Game Pass. And this is why I think there's a hidden agenda. I think gaming journalism, and by the way, before I forget, 99% of people prefer Steam over Ubisoft Connect, which is why it's also impossible to believe that more people bought it on Ubisoft Connect than Steam. Steam is a pretty big platform. Now, as I was saying, gaming journalism at this point should legally be subject to false advertising. They are just a public relations and consulting firm. The video game industry is the only sector where consultants and activists can just self-identify as journalists for no reason whatsoever. It's just so embarrassing. So yeah, there's definitely a hidden agenda spreading like a cancer throughout the gaming industry that seems to be readily apparent every time, almost on a daily basis. Now, I want people to make no mistake, 2 million players on a game is actually big. It's huge, just like my my TV. Yeah, it would be big if this was 2007. The difference is it's 2025 and Ubisoft has 18,000 developers currently on the payroll spanning multiple countries. They already delayed AC Shadows twice. And even before that, it took 5 years to develop. Even with their enormous team size, not to mention the incredibly bloated budget, which is said by some people to be upwards of $500 million. This isn't just some indie developer which would be pleased with 2 million players. This is Ubisoft with all their bloat, and even if they were to sell 2 million copies, that would be 18 million copies short of breaking even. They are there's no other way to put it. This pathetic cope about 2 million plays is gonna hurt them in the long run. See, AC Shadows is what happens when you have a compounding effect of multiple factors adding up together to create the ultimate failed product. Like I said in my last video, it's a blueprint for every developer to not go that direction. Because you are either an activist or you're a business owner. If you try to do both, you fail at both. It's an important lesson for people to learn. Case in point, Yasuke Simulator has entered the chat. It is the best AC game since Black Flag. It's the hardest mockery of any original game ever, and ironically has more soul in it than Arse Creed. You know it's bad when a shitpost is more fun and closer to the actual source material. And here's another lesson. Never underestimate the power of meme culture, especially within gaming. I can't even talk about this without laughing. No one can resist that level of firepower that the gaming meme culture possesses. The power level is over 9,000. The only downside to this simulator is that Johnny Somali isn't even the final boss. I mean, come on now. I mean, let's look at Yasuke Simulator. The music is AI. The models are basically just off the asset store. The dialogue and the voiceovers are just more AI. It's no doubt a low effort cash grab, but even saying all of that, I want it to succeed to screw Ubisoft. And on that bombshell, I'm gonna leave you with a few clips that I thought would be appropriate to show you. You need to see these clips because it shows you how far we've fallen in the gaming landscape. Manix out.
This will help me pass as a traitor.
That's not funny. They're dead. You did this, didn't you?
I'm no killer.
Inspect the area. You there! Did you kill this person?
It couldn't have been me.
Anything turn up? I'm about to give up. We help the sun.
Why would
Are
you
you
do
okay?
that? I can't see straight.
We've taken a good look. Can't tell
Chasing
what it was.
shadows.
People are strange.